quality of the Royale UI inside of the game has dropped tremendously. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about that. Alright, hi, TT here, and today we are going to be talking about the quality drop of the game's UI. Alright, so before the video starts, please make sure to like and subscribe and follow all of my socials. They will be linked in the description. Without further ado, let me get into the video now. So if you were one of the least fortunate Royale players that were to come after 2023, realize that the shop inside of the shop GUI was only this star PNG with the fireworks going on in the background that has actually been there for a very long period of time. And there was a time where the Royale developers actually used to put effort into the shop UI and into the other UI in the game. Like for example, when the St. Patrick's update was still inside of the game, and when the title screen was still in the game, when we still loaded into the title screen and didn't have to be forced to lag all the time when we loaded into Campus 4, the title screen was always colored according to the season that it was. So if it was the Glitter Frost season, which would have initially been the winter season, it would be winter themed. But this is a photo of the screen of what the UI used to look like, and I remember loading into this and it was so pretty looking at all of the rainbow stuff. And I genuinely do miss the title screen, and I do feel like I do want to make a video as to why the title screen was so vital into joining into Royale High. That's a video for another day. If you guys want to hear about it, just put it down in the comments if you guys want to hear about it. Alright, but stuff like this is stuff that made the game appealing. It's stuff that made you want to actually join the game and see, well, what's this rainbow stuff inside of the game? Why is it so pretty? Like, I want to experience this for myself, and it would be drawing you inside of the game even though you haven't even experienced playing the game fully yet. And I feel like that sort of thing was lost with the development of like Campus 3 and Campus 4 and stuff like that, because throughout the years they have been focusing on Campus 3 and Campus 4 a lot, and the shop GUI and a lot of the UI around the game has not been getting that much love recently. And the only thing that has been getting love is like the sidebar, the cursor whenever it updated according to that time. And going back to the shop UI, there was some very notable shop changes that a lot of people really do miss whenever they went into the shop. Like for example, the Goddess of Triumph and the Valentine's Day shops, they were so pretty and so appealing to just, you would automatically want to buy something from the shop by just how pretty the shop automatically was. And even inside the Goddess of Triumph shop, like, it was so intricately decorated that you would instantly want to donate something just because of how pretty the UI looked. It was just that good. Even back when Wickery Cliffs used to come out, the shop was so evenly organized, and when something new came out, it wasn't like bulging right in your face like click me, click me. It was kind of like showing you all of the new things and all of the old things in a very organized manner. And I feel like this is something that we need to go back to. And so many concepts, like for example summer UI shop like concepts, have came out in the past, and I will be covering that by the time that Title Glow comes out. But so many shop UI concepts have came out, and it's kind of sad when you think about it, because you have to resort to making concepts of something that could already be in the game but is not being focused on, you know. And I believe that the static PNG photo in the background that we have right now with the fireworks going on in the background is something that we have had since the summer set. I think that would have came out somewhere in 2021, and it would not have changed for a series of years. Some of my friends say it's around 2021 or 2022 or even 2023. They don't really know for sure, but it has been that static background for a very long time, and the Royale UI has kind of just been worse from there, like especially inside of the shop, because the shop UI has gotten worse ever since the dolls would have been released. And as of right now, this is what the shop UI inside of the game looks like, and it is a mess. Honestly, there are just so much things that are all over the place that don't need to be there. Like for example, the scythe code. Like, why do we need another scythe code? We already figured that out all the way back in Falling Leaves Festival. We still don't need that inside of the game, but it is there still. And as far as I know, there is no new scythe besides that little floral healing fan that we would have gotten for the evening fall update. And the more toys that would have been released, the more chaotic the shop UI came, to the point that all of the people in the Royale High community, specifically on Twitter, started to clown on how absolutely disorganized the shop UI actually was, to the point that people actually started to make memes of how bad it actually was. And honestly, it was so funny. Like, there was one where somebody photoshopped like Sonic the Hedgehog onto it, or I think it was Shadow or something. It was so funny. At the same time, it's so sad that it's come to this point that you need to push out the dolls more than anything. And I really feel like this is just a result of the Royale High Vox and the developers just pushing forward the narrative of the dolls need to be the first priority and not prioritizing all of the other updates inside of the game. And we could have seen that all the way back in 2022 when they started to recycle a bunch of updates that we would have gotten before, and even before that in 2021 and in 2020 we would have already gotten updates that have basically been recycled because the game was not being prioritized. A lot of the updates and a lot of the game UI would have just been set on an automatic timer, and that is something that we are experiencing right now. Every single time that it is a new season, all of the UI inside of the game and all of these summer things, like for example the summer fantasy set and all of those summer items like the mermaid royalty, for example, goes on sale. Like, they are all on a timer and they're not really managing this stuff properly. And really the only thing that comes out in these types of updates is usually a new halo or a set if we get lucky, but most of the time we don't really get a new set because they are most likely working on something. And that is something that we have experienced back in 2023 when we were still waiting on Campus 3 to come out. And it's sort of like deja vu for a lot of players that have been playing back in that time, because it's like, okay, so we have been waiting for Campus 3 to come up for so long, and when it finally comes out, the phases suddenly stop updating. The shop UI has basically given up because of the dolls. It's been getting worse with the more dolls that have been released into the game. Now that Campus 4 is going to be revamped again, we are kind of in the same situation, waiting until something new comes out and being stuck in this limbo of recycled updates. And that's genuinely been the cycle of how things are for a pretty long period of time. I'm not sure that this is going to be the case when Campus 4 comes up, because we've basically been in a limbo phase for a very long time, and I think that we've re-entered that phase. And I do have a video planned on that, so just keep a lookout for that. But in honesty, I really feel like a lot of the creative UI should be back in the game, just to bring a tiny bit of pop back into the game, because there's nothing inside of the shop or in the general UI where that would make you like interested to play the game anymore. As I would have said before, the shop UI as of right now is an absolute mess with all of the toys all over the place, and it's just not updated. Nothing is just moving forward genuinely. So I hope that when Campus 4 eventually comes out, that we do have something new, in the shop. Like, the shop is like actually organized. It isn't a mess like what we have right now, and it doesn't get clowned on for how messy it is, because it genuinely is very messy right now. And the general direction that Barbie is looking forward to like working on Campus 4 instead of keeping the game alive, I feel like that's not really the best direction, but I can't really say anything on that because the game is Barbie's after all. I just feel like in general she should be focusing on the game, because not that much content is in the game, and even when a new season comes, not that much people flock to it anyway, and the player count just flocks to around 5,000 or 4,000 players. So that's what I personally think that Barbie should be focusing on, just focusing on personally the seasonal updates that brought the attention of millions of people to the game to begin with. So yeah, I think that is all I have to say on today's topic. If you guys have anything to add, please put it down in the comments. And yeah, that is all I have to say on today's video. If you guys like the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and see ya.